Hey guys, Dr. Kahu here and welcome back to my channel. Now today I'm going to be doing the continuation to the what if that was suggested on my stream, and that is what if Naruto was raised by the Sage of Six Paths, part 6. Now as usual guys, if you guys can please like and subscribe, leave a comment down below, leave the bell notification so you guys can be the first to get my new content, and follow me on Discord towards I'll leave the link in the description. All you need to do is copy and paste, add it on Discord, and then add me, and if it's still pending, wait till 8 or 8:30 PM New Zealand Standard Times and I'll add you, or wait till I add you in the morning when I do my recordings, okay guys? And so yeah, and not only that, I figured out my Instagram stuff again finally, so I'll be re-adding you guys all. I'll be re-adding the link, not in this video, but the next video, okay guys? So I hope you guys stay tuned for that. And on that guys, I hope you guys had a great weekend, and I appreciate you guys all liking and watching my videos. It's really cool that you guys actually do like the videos, and I'll possibly be finishing this series this week, so stay tuned for that as well, okay guys? But yeah, without further ado guys, let's get into the next part of this what if, and that is what if Naruto was raised by the Sage of Six Paths, part 6. So let's begin. So let's do a quick recap on where we left off guys, and then we can jump into this next part, okay guys? So we left off, Naruto easily overpowered Madara, showing that there was a dramatic gap between them two and when it comes to terms of power. And Obito teleported him away back to Kabuto because Kabuto figured out a way to not only nearly complete the Gedo statue, but also helped him in a way, taught him about what was happening in this time period. And so Madara has a plan to revive himself by using Lady Chiyo's revival technique, okay? So that's what Madara and them are planning. But back with Naruto and their squad, what happened is the Raikage apologized for his antics to Sasuke, but what happened is Jiraiya goes, they accept the apology of course, but Jiraiya states that we should become a unified shinobi force. They all agree, and they all agree to build up their military power to negate this coming force, because they know something's coming. They know it's to be true. They realize that Obito's appearance wasn't just to try and show who's powerful, was to declare something. So from there, they become a united shinobi alliance with the samurais, of course. And from there, let our story begin. Now Naruto, Sasuke, Sakura, and Jiraiya and Lady Tsunade all head back to the village, and they're in the village pretty much by this time, and they work together to figure out what they need to do, how they need to do things, and what can they possibly do to save their village. And so Naruto states that, well, we need to build up our forces, of course, but at the same time we need to ascertain where our enemy is and what they are doing. And this is when Yamato appears. Yamato states that him, Anko, and Hyuga, I felt like Hyuga, remember, just a random guy, they found where the Akatsuki base is, the actual Akatsuki base, and they found that there's hundreds of thousands of these weird living creatures, and not only that, thousands of these humans that bear Orochimaru's chakra. And Jiraiya's like, what? And he goes, yeah. And so Naruto and Sasuke, they look at like what the hell's happening? And so what happens is Jiraiya goes, can you give me that relay point? And he's, yeah. And so what happens is when they give the information and the directions on where the Akatsuki base is, what happens is Jiraiya sends a note to all the other villages and the land of Iron as well, so they all can make a unified plan to meet up at the hidden cloud and then split up to access all individual points to where the Akatsuki's base is. So the plan goes ahead, but a week later, everyone has progressed and moved forward with the plans, with the attack. The Raikage, the Kazekage, the Tsuchikage, the Mizukage, the Hokage, and the Samurai leader, they all have the unified forces. They moved them all to the hidden cloud. And what happens is from there they all understand, they prepare for battle. Now Naruto's a part of this, okay, and Jiraiya, all the Kage stay, even Gaara, they stay in the intel area, okay, because to be fair, despite them being needed as well, they all stay there. Naruto states that if they're needed, just chuck the kunai and he'll summon them to him, okay. And Jiraiya, they will smile. All Kage and the samurai leader get a kunai each. And what happens is all the shinobi forces, let's just state the shinobi forces still led by Gaara. Sorry. What happens is once they all agree and are ready to proceed with their plans, they all head out. All of them begin to proceed with their plans. And so all the Shinobi Alliance move out with the samurai, of course, and they move to their individual areas. Now they're going to attack the Katsuki base from north, south, east, and west. They make sure that all their army, all their forces spread around to catch them at their, well, in a sense, a maximum attack. Okay. And so as they're moving forward, let's go back a couple of days before everyone had prepared the situation. Now back with Kabuto, Madara, and Obito, Madara questioned Lady Chiyo about how the jutsu worked. Lady Chiyo gave all the information, everything that needed to be done to do so, and Madara states. And so what happened is he got one of the normal fighter people that's there and used him to try to revive him, but Madara realized, so did Kabuto and Obito, that despite this person sacrificing his life to try to revive Madara, it didn't work. And Obito explains, he goes, why didn't it work? And this is when Kabuto states, maybe because of your chakra. And Madara's like, what? What do you mean my chakra? Maybe because despite you being as powerful as you are, one single life is not enough to bring you fully back to life. Madara goes, alright then. So Madara summons 100 Zetsus and about five random humans, and they make them perform the jutsu again. Now Madara's lying in a circle, and when they're all pumping the chakra doing Lady Chiyo's form of reanimation jutsu, it works. Madara is brought back to life immediately and it begins to work. He gets pumped with chakra so much that he actually is brought back to life. And as Madara sits up, he smiles, he looks at himself, he's like, what the, this is real, flesh and blood. He can't believe it. His heart's pounding, he's so excited, and then his eyes disappear. Madara realizes what has transpired and what he needs to do. He immediately speedballs Kabuto, grabs his face, and starts to absorb his nature energy. At first, Kabuto tried to bite him with the snake, but what happened? Obito pinned the snake and his hands down. And from there, Madara used his abilities to the whole Kabuto there, and he begins to absorb the snake sage chakra to the point where the Hashirama face gets the sage mode on his face. And as he's absorbing it, Madara drops Kabuto. Kabuto turns back into a normal person, and then what happens is Madara picks Kabuto up, and at first he was going to put a genjutsu on it, but he realized he has no eyes. But this is when it comes to Obito. Obito has multiple eyes. Okay, he was smart. He knew to keep some eyes, so he goes to Madara. Here's some eyes that have been amplified with Hashirama cells. And Madara goes, thank you. He puts the eyes in his head, and he uses this ability to heal them really quickly. And as he opens them, the eyes activate, then they activate into a normal Sharingan. And then Madara forcefully evolves into the Eternal Mangekyo. Well, bear in mind these have been amplified by Hashirama cells, so they supersede the plot point, okay guys? And so as he does that, Madara grabs Kabuto and instantly puts him back under a massive genjutsu, but not a small genjutsu, a massive genjutsu. And as he releases Kabuto becomes super compliant with Madara to the point where he weaves hand signs and does everything Madara wants. Madara feels happy now that he's fully alive and he can do the things he needs to. And so what he does is he gets Kabuto to summon Genkaku and Genkaku towards he does. Obito summons the Gero statue and he chucks Genkaku and Genkaku in. And doing so, Madara also uses a powerful sealing formula to try to negate the massive amount of chakra that's built up by the Ten Tails, but it works. He's able to hide it until it goes through its imperfect state, and then it goes through its weird state as well. And so once the Gero statue was ready, Madara made sure he turned it into a tree to start absorbing chakra immediately, but he absorbed the rest of it within his body. Obito was kind of taken aback because he wanted to do it himself, but he couldn't do so. So Madara absorbed the rest of the Ten Tails, becoming the imperfect Ten Tails Jinchuriki. But you'll see soon, okay? And doing so, Madara actually looked, to be honest, to the fact of how powerful Madara is, he actually looked like the perfect Ten Tails Jinchuriki. But he doesn't have 6-path Senjutsu though. No, he doesn't. He just has Senjutsu, Sage Mode, okay? He doesn't have the Renegon here, and he has Eternal Mangekyo, and he has the imperfect Ten Tails. So Madara is ready to face off against the Shinobi Alliance. Now that was a day before the Shinobi Alliance has moved in position to try to attack everyone. And so now fast forward to the day where everyone is heading towards the Akatsuki's base. What happens? Everyone on all fronts see this massive tree, this big ass tree up in the air. And as Naruto's looking on, Hagoromo goes, "That's the Gedo statue's power." He goes, he's looking really carefully. He goes, "He's very close to summoning my mother." Naruto's like, don't worry, Gramps, we got this." And he goes, "Naruto, where's Sasuke?" Naruto goes, "Sasuke's on the other front with Itachi." He goes, "Summon him here, Naruto. I need to do something." And Naruto goes, "Oh?" He goes, "Yes. When he comes here, I need you to give some chakra to Sasuke, and Sasuke gives some chakra to you for this to work perfectly." Okay, Naruto goes, "Alright, Gramps." Naruto puts his hands together and uses the seal that's on the back of Sasuke's back. Naruto uses the reverse flying Raijin and teleports Sasuke right to him. And Sasuke is talking to his brother and saying he's happy that he's at least going to war with his brother. And Sasuke, poof, teleports him appears right by Naruto. Sasuke goes, "Naruto, where am I?" Naruto goes, "Not to worry." Naruto places his hand on Sasuke's shoulder, and Naruto powers up his chakra. And what happens is when Naruto's chakra hits Sasuke's chakra, what ends up happening is Sasuke and Naruto both enter into the mindscape. Naruto has the Rinnegan activated, and what happens, this is when the Sasuke meets the Sage of Six Paths. Now what happens is Sasuke is explained everything, what makes him so special, what makes Naruto so special. The Sage of Six Paths states that Sasuke, you're wonderful, that he's quite proud of how you have changed. You're nothing like your predecessors at all. To be honest, he's so proud of Sasuke. Sasuke smiles and thanks Hagoromo for that. He looks at Naruto and goes, "So we're relatives?" And he goes, "In the manner, Sasuke." Sasuke smiles. "So I was the better brother, huh?" And the Sage of Six Paths states, he goes, "Pretty much, but you did get loose to him though." And he goes, "Oh, I see." And the Sasuke and Naruto smile at each other. And he says, Naruto goes, "So what's up, Gramps?" And he goes, "Naruto, Sasuke, hold up your dominant hands, please." Naruto's like, "I thought you couldn't get the chakra." He goes, "Well, you have the Rinnegan, Naruto, and knowing that because Sasuke is the other half of my power, I'm able to utilize both your guys' chakra to amplify the Ashura Indra chakra in both of you to the point where I can give you this seal. Now, Naruto, you have a choice. Once you do this, Naruto, I need you to take the 10 tails within you." Naruto's like, "What? What about Kurama?" And Kurama goes, "Yeah, what about me?" And I say the Six Paths states there. It's not that I'm being ruthless or sad to you, Kurama, but the 10 tails is too dangerous to be out. And for some reason, Madara, just like my son Indra, is being guided by a force outside myself. So I need you to understand." Naruto goes, "How about I just split up the 10 tails and seal the Gedo statue away?" And Hagoromo goes, "That's fine and good. But what happens when this comes down again?" And Sasuke goes, "Then I'll be the bearer of the Gedo statue." Hagoromo looks at Sasuke, and seeing that it was more of a selfless act, Naruto goes, "Yeah, and I'll house all the other 9 tails." And the Kurama was like, "Oh, it's gonna be cramped in here." Hagoromo smiles and goes, "Very well, I like your guys' planning. Alright then, Sasuke, once this duty is complete and everything like that, and you guys defeat the 10 tails and Madara, then I would like you guys to split the tail beasts up back into their forms. Naruto, I give you permission to take all 9 tails within you. And Sasuke, I also give you permission to hold the Gedo statue, okay? Those will be your guys' bloodlines you pass down to your children and your children's children. Your chakras will never die. Otsutsuki's technically don't die, we find ways to live." Naruto's like, "Pretty cool." So I said, "Alright." And he goes, "Now please hold your dominant hands." Naruto puts his right hand up and Sasuke puts his left hand up. Now what happens is when they seal, Naruto gets the sun seal and Sasuke gets the moon seal. And what happens is the moment that Hagoromo lets go, he goes, "Now, you guys have completed your task, both of you. Thank you guys so much." And what happens, Hagoromo goes, "Naruto, I'll be here when you need me." Now he disappears. Before Sasuke can thank him, they both wake up in the real world. Sasuke looks at Naruto. Naruto looks at Sasuke. Sasuke has his Rinnegan activated, one Rinnegan, and he has his Tomos on it. Naruto has his Rinnegan activated, but he has 6 Path Sage mode. Naruto looks at his hand and he has the Sun Seal. Sasuke goes, "So are these permanent?" Naruto goes, "I have no idea." Sasuke smiles and goes, so you had that old man as your backup always there, Naruto? Naruto goes, more or less. He goes, he goes, so despite us not being actual family now, we're family through different bloodlines, huh? Naruto goes, I'm guessing so, and he goes, they both fuss with each other. And Sasuke goes, until we meet in the battlefield, Naruto. Naruto goes, alright Sasuke, take care of Sakura. And he goes, I will. Sasuke disappears, Naruto sends him away. Back to where, what's it called? Itachi, and when Sasuke lands, Itachi goes, Sasuke, are you Sasuke? And he goes, it's alright big brother, I've got this. And as Sasuke stands forward, he's the one that sits forward in his line. He tells everyone to stand back. What happens is Naruto also tells everyone to stand back. And they speed blitz the area, but what happens is a massive explosion happens. And front and behind all the forces and all these Zetsus and curse mark monsters begin to rush out and attack the Shinobi Alliance. When Naruto sees this and sees how powerful these guys are, he actually realized that, yeah, and not in that reanimation army, Naruto realizes that, well, they got a worse fight in their hands. So without hesitating, Naruto makes 1,000 shadow clones and he speed blitzes the area, taking out Zetsus, taking out curse mark monsters and reanimations. Bear in mind, these reanimations are everywhere. And so what happens is that the allied Shinobi forces actually pulled themselves into a trap, to be honest. And what happens when Naruto does that, he's not distracted too much, but he looks on his speed, he flies over to where the tree is, and that's where Madara's sitting on one of the roots. It's like, it took you long enough, Uzumaki brat. Naruto looks at him and he goes, so you took the 10 tails within you, right? Guessing it's not perfected. And then Madara stands up and goes, it's enough chakra to beat you, that's all I need. He looks at Naruto, Naruto goes, oh, you got eyes, what happened to your Rinnegan? And Naruto looks at him properly and goes, oh, you're alive, meaning you have limits now. Madara's like, what? Naruto speed blitzes Madara, throws a punch right at his face, sends Madara flying. He hits the tree and smashes the tree, cracking it in half. Madara's like, what the hell? And Sasuke immediately appears, chucking the sword right at Madara's hand, slamming it into his hand. Madara's like, what the? And Sasuke immediately appears right by Madara's side, kicking him, scattering him across the tree until he cradles into the ground. Naruto and Sasuke smile. Madara's like, what the hell's happening? Like, he can't believe that he just got a superpower up. Sasuke and Naruto are already above him still. Madara gets over, he begins to heal thanks to the Sage mode. And Naruto goes, oh, did you not think you were going to get more powerful than what you were? No. Sasuke goes, yeah, if you haven't met the old man, then I don't think you have enough power to beat us. Naruto and Sasuke look at each other, and in the blink of an eye, Naruto has an orange blur, and Sasuke is a black lightning blur. They immediately scatter around Madara. This is when Madara begins to focus and not let his guard down. He uses the imperfect 10 tails to help boost his attack. He summons chakra rods to help him out, and when they begin to battle, it's made very clear, despite Madara having the imperfect 10 tails, it's the thing that hampers him the most. But luckily for the Sage mode, he's able to put up a bit of fight at least. But this is when Obito appears, and Obito tries to attack, you know, but yeah, unfortunately for him, that doesn't work because Naruto swipes at Obito, and he believes he got away, but Naruto realizes and he deduces Obito's abilities. What he does is he chucks what's it called, a true signal to Obito. Obito tries to teleport away from it, but Naruto makes sure he connects it to Obito's chakra, so whenever it jumps around, it doesn't work at all. And so as Obito is like so getting frustrated, it blows up, but Obito is distracted enough for Naruto to appear by Obito, and what he does is he grabs Obito's face. Obito's like, how did you? Naruto goes, I've got you. You didn't realize, but I used the 3-second orbs of the space-time. I knew you were using a space-time technique, and I have the Rinnegan. Obito's like, what the hell? Naruto goes, I finally got you. Obito's like, no! Naruto rips Obito's soul out, and Obito's body goes limp, and Naruto absorbs it. And when he absorbs it, he knows exactly who it was. Obito, everything that's gone down, what he did. And Naruto's really angry. And Naruto looks right at Madara. Sasuke looks at Naruto, and Madara looks at Naruto too after ripping Obito's soul out. Naruto goes, Lumbo! Before Lumbo clones of Naruto appear and begin to fight Madara, Sasuke can see them clearly. Madara can't see them clearly, but he can sense it. He tries to duck and dodge, but he gets easily overwhelmed by Naruto. Bear in mind, Naruto's thousands of shadow clones are taking out all the Zetsu and curse mark monsters immediately. And not only that, thanks to the unified Shinobi Alliance, there's less casualties in this war. And what happens is all the reanimations get sealed up really easy. Now bear in mind, Obito didn't summon the other Jinchuriki, neither did Kabuto. And because Kabuto is underneath a Genjutsu, he's still stuck in the base within, so he's nothing, really. And so as they were building, Madara found out very clear that he can't do nothing to this kid. But Naruto is really angry at Madara. He goes, "You forced an innocent kid. You forced this all upon him. You killed Ren, and you did this to Obito Uchiha." Madara looks at Naruto. Naruto is so fuming, he's so pissed off. And Madara can't do nothing. The limbos are beating him up to the point where Naruto chucks 4 chakra rods. They pierce Madara's body, nearly ended them falling until Sasuke appears behind him and shocks Madara. Shocks him so much that he's actually bleeding. And what happens is, this is when Black Zetsu appears and tries to do wood style to negate them, but yet again Naruto just waves his hand, stops the wood style. Naruto grabs Black Zetsu and does an almighty pull, pulling Black Zetsu, but holds him in place. And this is when the sage states that this guy here, he's the one that instigated everything, Naruto. And Naruto goes, "Oh, is he now?" And he goes, "One thing you don't want to do, Naruto, is make contact with him." Naruto said, "That's fine." He opens his hands up. What happens is Naruto has one massive Rasen Biju bomb, or his own Biju Rasengan. And when Zetsu sees this, Naruto goes, "You know what? I want you to see this." Naruto absorbs the attack. He chucks a chakra through Black Zetsu, holding him in place. He can't look and find nothing. And Black Zetsu's like, "No, no!" Naruto walks right over to Madara. Madara's in so much pain because Sasuke hasn't stopped shocking him. Sasuke goes, let me know when you'll do it, Naruto." Naruto goes, "I will." Naruto instantly grabs his hands and slams his hands into Madara's gut. He's like, "Ugh, you brat." Naruto goes, "I'm a brat, huh? What makes you think that I care what you think, Madara Uchiha? You failed. As you failed before, and your previous incarnation before you failed. Sasuke is the only successful incarnation. You should be thanking Sasuke for redeeming your bloodline." Madara said, "How dare Naruto?" Begins to rip the Gedo statue right out of Madara. Madara screams in absolute pain as the Gedo statue gets ripped out of him. But what happens is when the Ten Tails comes out, he sees Naruto and is about to go rampant. What happens is Naruto puts his hands together, and what happens is all these trees begin to pull the entire Ten Tails down, pulling the arms, legs, everything, slamming it onto the ground. Sasuke looking at this, Madara is still alive, and Naruto grabs Black Zetsu with the almighty pull, chucks him by Madara. Both Naruto and Sasuke drop back. And Naruto goes, "Sasuke!" Sasuke goes, "I'm right behind you, Naruto." Sasuke opens up his hand. He does a massive black flame lightning attack in his hands. And with the Amaterasu, and Naruto has his own Biju Rasengan, and they both speed blitz the area and they rush into him, and they both slam it into Zetsu Madara, blowing up the area. And what happens is Naruto makes sure that it doesn't blow up and wipe out Sasuke, but instead, after the attack hits, Naruto makes like a form of vortex attack that spins the attack up. And what ends up happening is Madara gets killed, so does Black Zetsu. They're completely dead immediately. Nothing left with them. Obito's dead on the ground. And in doing so, Madara's gone, Zetsu's gone, Obito's gone. Kabuto's the only one that's left, but he's under a Genjutsu, under the tree. And in doing so, Naruto looks back, and the Gedo statue starts to run rampant. Bear in mind that all the reanimation clones are gone, they've been sealed. All the Zetsus are either run away or been sealed, and the curse mark monsters are dead, And so all that's left is the imperfect Ten Tails. But this is when the Ten Tails starts to make those nameless creatures, all those horns and everything. Naruto speed blitzes past all of them without even trying, and he sees the Ten Tails. The Ten Tails looks at Naruto, and Naruto places his hand on the Ten Tails' head, and he goes, "Sasuke!" Sasuke teleports there as well. What happens when Naruto connects the chakra that he has? He focuses and he finds all of the other tail beasts, all 8 tails, and rips them out immediately. In doing so, he rips all the 8 tails, rest of the 8 tails out of the Gedo statue, and they all land. But in connecting with all of them, they all got to see within Naruto's mind. The Sage of Six Parts states that Naruto is the one that's going to be their vessel, and they all need to be within him now. All of them agree with the Sage of Six Parts, even Shikaku, that Naruto is going to be their Jinchuriki. But then this is when they ask what about the Gedo statue, and this is when Sasuke enters into the mindscape and states that the Gedo statue is going to be with me, and they all agree. And so what happens is after Naruto rips all the Nine Tails beast out, Naruto puts his hands together and all the Nine Tails, all the other Nine Tails besides, actually no, the 8 Tails, my bad. All other 8 Tails besides the 9 Tails within Naruto, they turn into chakra, and Naruto summons them all within his body, perfecting his 6-path Sage mode. Even more, because this was the 6-path Sage mode that Naruto had was a temporary one. It wasn't as powerful as it should be due to the fact that Hagoromo he used a loophole within the chakra between Ashura and Injo to amplify both Sasuke and Naruto's ability to use the Sun and Moon Seal. Now bear in mind these two still have the Sun and Moon Seal. Now in doing so, what happens is the Gedo statue starts to go crazy without the chakra, but this is when Sasuke puts his hands on the Gedo statue and he begins to absorb it. And when it goes within Sasuke's body, Sasuke instantly starts to feel pain. But this is when Naruto walks over to Sasuke and does the 8 tetragram seal on Sasuke's body. And what happens is it perfectly locks the Gedo statue within. But this is when Sasuke looks at the Gedo statue and uses the Rinnegan he has to put it underneath his control permanently. And the Gedo statue sits quietly after Sasuke doing so. Now what happens is Naruto is the holder of all Nine Tails beasts and Sasuke is the holder of the Gedo statue. Now in doing so, Sasuke's other eye actually evolves into the Rinnegan. But that Rinnegan actually can deactivate willingly, except for the Tomoed one, okay? Naruto's Rinnegan can deactivate and activate at will too. But this is when Naruto looks at the giant tree. He regresses the entire tree back down, pulling the rest of the chakra into Sasuke. And what happens is the Great Shinobi War that was meant to be declared has ended. And not only that, like less casualties, like only like 3% of the Shinobi forces were destroyed in each area thanks to Naruto's quick wittiness, everything like that. But this is but what happens? They still have to deal with Kabuto. Now when Itachi goes down and sees Kabuto's Snake Sage chakra has grown back fully, and he slowly breaks out of the Genjutsu. But what happens is Sasuke's right there. And Sasuke, without even hesitating, he puts his hand right through Kabuto's chest, killing him immediately. Blowing his lightning chakra right through Kabuto, killing him so much that he's just gone. Rips his arms out, Kabuto's dead. And that's the end of the 4th Great Shinobi War. Now when everyone goes back, Sasuke and Naruto are just stupidly powerful. Like, on another level powerful, you know, they even still got their Sun and Moon Seal. And so when they go back to the village and they start to rebuild everything, what ends up happening is the United Shinobi Alliance stays. All the villagers work in unison together. Old hatred is completely gone. There's still slight secrets, but all the old hatred of the old world is gone. The unified Shinobi villagers, that's what they all are. And this is when they work on possibly making a unified Kage, or one set of Kage, but the Dragos, that's just pointless. We still have 5 individual villages we need to utilize. How about we just keep the 5 Kage Summit as the unified Kage government? The right Kage smiles, goes, I agree with that, and so does Inoki. All the Kage agree with Jiraiya, and so that's what they have. They become a unified Kage council or government, and this bodes well for the village, okay? And so when they all go back, Sasuke and Naruto are considered great heroes of the world. But this is when Naruto talks to Kakashi and explains everything. The Master Spin was Obito and everything, blah 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 blah. To explain everything to Kakashi. Kakashi's really down. He's really upset about this. He's really upset that his friend caused nearly all this havoc just to get revenge. Naruto goes, yeah, he actually blames you for Rin's death. He blames you for everything, Minato, everything like that. And this is when Kurama goes to Naruto. Speaking of Minato, the other half of my chakra is within him. And Hagoromo goes, all we need is his DNA, and I can pull the other chakra out of him. And Naruto's like, but didn't he get sealed with the reanimation jutsu? The Reaper Death Seal? And the Sage of 6 Path states, with my power, kid, I have connection to all chakras, so it's not impossible for me to do that, you know. Naruto says, alright then. Naruto puts his hands together, uses Rinnegan abilities. But he tries to focus, but he can't seem to summon his dad. It's like, Dad? And the Sage of 6 Path goes, no, you need his DNA. It's similar to reanimation jutsu, but you have to get through the Death God. Luckily for you, you can summon you can naturally summon the death god himself, Naruto. Naruto goes, oh, I get you. And so what happens is Naruto he finds a place where he actually has Minato's remains, and he takes some of the DNA and writes it on the scroll, and Naruto puts his hand together and stomps on the scroll. What ends up happening is the King of Hell is summoned, and out of the mouth comes a reanimated version of Minato, but only in chakra wise. And when he sees Naruto, Naruto's like, hey, he's like, Minato's like, Naruto? Naruto rushes over there and tries to hug his dad, but he walks through it like a ghost. And Naruto goes, oh, you're not really here, Dad. And he goes, Naruto goes, I need a favor. And he goes, what's that? He goes, I need the nine tails within you. And he goes, alright then. Here, pulls his arm. Naruto puts his hand right on Minato's astral projection. And this is when Hagoromo uses his abilities. He pulls out the nine tails within Minato. And what happens is when he pulls the other half of the nine tails lands outside. Minato looks at Naruto and just sees how much of like a god figure Naruto has become. He hugs his son, or tries to, but he doesn't do nothing. And tells his mum that he will see him in the future. Naruto smiles and says goodbye to his dad. And what happens, the death god pulls Minato back within its mouth and closes it. And what happens, the scroll on the ground burns, and the death god's head disappears. But this is when Kurama looks at Naruto and goes, what the hell, where am I, kid? I thought I was. And this is when Hagoromo speaks to Kurama's mind. And Naruto just places his hand on Kurama's foot, brings him into his body, and merges him with the other Kurama. Now when all the other tail beasts see that Kurama has been merged with this other half, they're like, wow, now what is it like to be fully back to yourself? Shikaku goes, yeah. And it goes, like the Kurama goes down and goes, I can finally relax. They all laugh at each other, all the tail beasts, but they all get to relax too as well, feeling safe, knowing that no other human will be able to use their chakra. But bear in mind, Naruto has all of their chakra, all their abilities, all their power. But Kurama is his main avatar. No one is close to Naruto's power when it comes to the main avatar of Kurama. And bear in mind, Sasuke and Naruto are never going to have that fight again when it comes to the Valley of the End fight. Only due to the fact that, one, Naruto and Sasuke have changed who they are as people, what they do. Their ancestors, their perpetual cycle, they both changed it. You know, so they'll never have their fight again. And Sasuke knows Naruto is dramatically stronger than him by miles. And so, over the years that come, Sasuke and Sakura are in a relationship. And knowing that, so was Naruto and Hinata. I didn't make it clear in the series, but Naruto slowly but surely grew to Hinata, and they are in a relationship early. Doesn't mean they got married yet, but they're in a relationship early and they hang out more and they are together. Jiraiya and Tsunade, they are in themselves in a relationship. And this is when Jiraiya steps down as a Hokage. He wanted to give Naruto the chance to become Hokage then, but what happens is Jiraiya's like, nope, I think right now you need to enjoy life for a little bit. And this is when Jiraiya promotes Itachi Uchiha as the 6th Hokage, not Kakashi. Kakashi would have been great, but Kakashi turned it down immediately, okay? Him and Suzune have their own life to live. And so when Jiraiya retired fully, Itachi Uchiha became the next Hokage, and he ran the village really great. He made sure that everyone reconciled all the differences and worked together to build a safer and stronger village. Now this is when we move a few years forward, up until the point where the Naruto last movie happens. At this time, Naruto is just doing Ombu missions, going around the world helping out, because he can. He's not lazy and sit around doing nothing. Him, Sasuke and Sakura still do missions, even Hinata does, And so they go around doing their thing, casually protecting the world, you name it, And this is when they all get alerted by the Raikage's signs and advices that the moon is coming too close. It's actually starting to fall. And so Naruto uses his Rinnegan to teleport to the Raikage's base, and the Raikage gives all the information and details, what needs to happen, what not, what's going down. He even tells them upon a solution they have. He shows that the chakra transportation cannon they have to help negate the effects if the moon was to fall down. But Naruto goes, wow, that's pretty cool, I guess. And he goes, yeah, but only in the case of emergency, Naruto. Naruto goes, finally Itachi and the other 4 Kages are talking as well. They understand that they were in a different time, different place back in the days. But now that everything's moving forward, they're quite happy that the Raikage was so open upon the weapon that they have. And so As the situation progresses and moves forward, this is when Naruto is informed about a kidnapping in the Hidden Leaf. Hinata sent a bird to tell Naruto that Hanabi has been kidnapped, and some weird man has been coming into the village stating that he's going to take her. Naruto's like, what? He tells her he apologizes to the Raikage and jumps through a portal. When he gets back to the Hidden Leaf, Naruto is immediately attacked by puppets. All these puppets are waiting for Naruto to come right by Hinata to try to take him out or stall him. But these puppets are going to do nothing. Naruto, without him hesitating, just destroys them all. But a puppet grabs Hinata and tries to fly away with her. Naruto's like, no way. He puts his hands up and does an almighty pull, pulls the puppet and pulls Hinata towards him. The puppet tries to attack Naruto, but Naruto just absorbs the chakra. Bear in mind, Sasuke's not in the village, he's just doing his own onboard mission with Sakura as well. And so when Naruto pulls the puppet, he crushes it immediately. And what happens is when Naruto catches Hinata, he flies up and he looks around, and this is when Toneri appears right in front of Naruto. When Naruto looks at him and goes, you have the appearance of an Otsutsuki. And Toneri goes, so you are the embodiment of the sage of six paths of this world. Understand this. When my mission is fulfilled, I will take Hinata from you, and the moon will crash into the earth, and we will start anew. And Toneri goes, Hinata, please come with me. You don't need to stay with this lower being. Naruto looks at him and goes, you're not even actually here. Where are you? And he goes, wouldn't you like to know, human? Naruto looks at him, he's really pissed off that he's trying to, one, take his girlfriend, and two, talking down to him. And so Naruto goes, you know I can just push the moon back in the way. And Toneri looks at Naruto, really, he goes, then it's war then, kid. He disappears immediately, Toneri. And what ends up happening is all these asteroids begin to fall down to the planet. Toneri purposely breaks lots of parts of the moon and chucks them at the earth. Chucking them at the earth as fast as he can. When Naruto notices this, he notices the trajectory is coming from the moon. And he realizes that these things are being thrown here, not being pulled naturally by gravity. And so as Naruto looks upon what ends up happening, Shikamaru comes to Naruto for the plane. They track down one of the puppets going through this massive portal on the ground, and they disappear somewhere. Naruto goes, where are they? And he goes, yeah. He goes, come with us. Hinata wants to come. Naruto says it's too dangerous, but Hinata goes, I'm with you, Naruto, aren't I? Naruto goes, fair enough. And so they all head out to the area. Bear in mind, Sasuke and Sakura have just been notified of the situation. And what ends up happening is when Naruto, Sakura, Hinata, and Shikamaru appear there, Sakura and Sasuke appear as well. He opened up a portal. Sasuke goes Naruto, and Naruto goes Sasuke. They fist bump each other, and Sakura goes, hey Hinata. They all have a good catch up, and Shikamaru goes, we're not here to catch up, we're here to focus. Our mission is to retrieve Hinabi, and if we can, stop the advance of the moon. Now Naruto, you can teleport backwards and forth right anywhere, right? And Naruto goes, yeah. Well then, our mission is to try to save Hinabi, and then you come back to the world, you and Sasuke, and do your best to try to stop the moon to advance, right? Naruto goes, yeah, I will. So Sasuke goes, right. And so what happens is they go down that massive shaft, and as they're running down that big ass empty shaft, this is when they see all these gigantic genjutsu bubbles, all these little miniature moons, jumping through them easy, to be honest. Hinata stays with Naruto, Sasuke stays with Sakura, and Shikamaru's in the middle, being the leader of the group, of course. And as they're going down, this is when the Sage of Six Paths states, I believe I know who that boy is. And Naruto's like, who is it, Gramps? And he goes, he is the direct descendant of my brother, Hamada Otsutsuki. My brother used to live on the moon. And I say, wait, what? He stops everyone and he goes, the moon? What do you mean? Your brother lived on the moon? He goes, remember when I told you my brother wanted to go spend time with my mother when she was a ghetto statue? He goes, yeah. He took a few people up to the moon, and that's where the Hyuga clan was created. And Naruto goes, oh. Sasuke, did you? And Sasuke goes, yes, I got that, Naruto. Naruto's like, strange. Very strange. Alright, so how do we get to the moon? How little Musanazi goes, you're in the right direction, keep going. Naruto's like, alright then. So they keep going, Naruto goes, so, your brother was on the moon, that's pretty cool, I guess. And he smiles and goes, yeah. Remember, I created the moon, Naruto, to seal my mother. My brother made a whole entire world within the moon. So suffice it to say, he is the sixth pass of the moon, and I was the sixth pass of Earth. Naruto smiles and goes, awesome! Well, let's go then. Sasuke and them will speed blitz it through there, and when the giant guardian turtle comes, Sasuke doesn't even care. It lands on Sasuke, makes a Susanoo arm and smashes it, completely destroying it into the pieces. And they make it right through. When they get right through, they fly up and they land. They realize that, whoa, this is a world within inside a moon? And Sasuke goes, wow, this is bigger than I thought. How the hell are we going to find them now? And then what happens? The Shikamaru goes, we'll split up. Sasuke, Sakura, you go this way. Hinata and Naruto, you go this way. Naruto, I'll have a kunai. Please, Naruto gives Sasuke, Shikamaru a kunai. He goes, I'll check this down if I have any information. And Sasuke goes, oh, I know the same jutsu now. Here's my kunai. Shikamaru's like, you can do the flying rising. He goes, not to the extent of Naruto, no, but I know the jutsu. So you do the same principle with my kunai, I will be able to find you. So yep, Sasuke, Sakura leave, and Naruto and Hinata leave. Now those are when they travel the entire moon world. Now bear in mind they're gone for a bit, trying to find any information or any type of sign of Hinabi. Toneri keeps his distance, you know, making sure that he can at least get the Tenseigo and ready himself to fight these two. But this is when they get, and this is when Sasuke gets a message from his brother. Bear in mind Sasuke has like a kind of psychic link to his brother, in a sense. Sasuke's like, what? Asteroids are flying down to Earth as we speak, and they may need help. Sasuke tells Sakura that he might need to go. Sakura at first is not happy about this, but she understands. Sasuke goes, I'll bring you with me. Sasuke, what he does is he teleports to Shikamaru's kunai and tells him that he has to go. Shikamaru goes, don't worry, I got the same telepathic speech from Itachi. Bear in mind this is a jutsu that Sasuke created. Okay? So bear in mind. And so what happens, Sasuke grabs Sakura and they both teleport to Earth. And teleporting to Earth, a massive asteroids coming down. Itachi's breaking some of them with the Susanoo and everything. But when Sasuke sees the next one, Sasuke immediately appears as his big ass Susanoo, destroys the meteor straight away. And Sasuke looks at all the other meteors that are coming, because bear in mind, more meteors are falling down faster than their own cannon. And so Sasuke begins to destroy them left, right, center with the sword, blowing them all apart. Going everywhere, flying around, destroying them all, trying to protect the village. When Itachi sees this, because he's been protecting the village for a bit, he's really, really tired. And so all the other Kage, but this is when the right Kage tells everyone that the chakra, the transportation cannon is almost charged up. Bear in mind, Killer Bee is not there, so it's going to take a little bit longer to power up the massive gun. So yeah, he tells them that won't be long now. The gun's almost charged. Just keep fighting off, keep fending off these asteroids. Do your best. So all the villagers are doing their best to make sure that they try and stop the attack of all the massive asteroids from destroying their village and all their homes. So as everyone is doing their best on Earth, back on the moon, Naruto felt Sasuke left the area, and this is when Shikamaru chucked the kunai down. Naruto appears by Shikamaru with Hinata, and they state that Shikamaru is actually the one to find the Hyuga, the Otsutsuki burial ground underground. And this is when the same Hyuga that comes up, or Otsutsuki that comes up and shines that beam of light in Hinata's eye, but bear in mind Naruto has the Rinnegan, so you know, he sees it too. And this is when Hamura and Hagoromo meet and they have an interesting conversation between each other. What happens is Hamura states that in a few moments Toneri will activate the Tenseigo. He'll be able to throw the moon to the planet. Naruto, this is your one and only chance to stop this from happening. Yes, you have my brother's power, and yes, you can probably push the moon back. But in pushing the moon back, you will pretty much crush the moon or scatter around the planet like an asteroid belt. And the world will always rain down asteroids periodically. Naruto's like, alright, and goes, so where do we go? And goes, go to the center of the world. I built my castle in the middle. Naruto goes, oh, thank you, Hamura. Hamura looks at Hinata and tells him, you have one special role, Hinata. He gives Hinata all the chakra he has remaining, more than he does in canon. Hinata opens up and your eyes look slightly different. And he goes, only you can destroy the Tenseigo, Hinata. Only you. And so what happens, Hinata goes, alright. And they leave. So Naruto immediately flies, grabs Hinata and Shikamaru. So they fly up in here. And when Toneri's sensory sense it, bear in mind Toneri's eyes have now fully evolved into the Tenseigon, because it took them a while to figure out stuff out. Alright, then fly up, and immediately when he gets there, he breaches the barriers because he's just so strong. He flies right through, and Shikamaru and Hinata head out. But what happens is Naruto's abilities, he's able to sense where Hinabi is, and he pretty much makes a diagram for Shikamaru to find Hinabi, and so he rushes up to find her. Hinata goes off to find the Tenseigon to destroy it, and Naruto lands in the courtyard. This is where Toneri appears, and he goes, "Well now, you're bold enough to come to my domain." Naruto goes, "Technically this is not just your domain. This was all once the Hyugas, the Hyugas and the Otsutsuki's domain, right?" And he goes, "Those lesser beings," he goes, I wouldn't talk if I was you. You're only a branch family member, not the main line. We're just jealous." And Toneri gets really angry, and he instantly explodes into his Tenseigon chakra mode. Naruto goes, "Please, just stop. Honestly, just stop. You're wasting time." Toneri goes, "I'm wasting time. What makes you think you can beat me? What makes you think that you can stop what I'm about to do?" Toneri uses his ability to forcefully push the moon down further. And Naruto goes, "It has to come down to this, does it? Do I have to kill you? Do I?" And Toneri goes, "What makes you think you can kill me?" Naruto explodes into a 6+ Sage mode. With the Nine Tails chakra, but then all the other Tail Beast chakra explode into Naruto to the point where his aura does not look orange no more, but takes on more like a white color. As Naruto stands there, what ends up happening, instead of him having the with just the regular 6+ Senjutsu, it looks like Naruto has more tomos all on his back. Even his Rinnegan have tomos now. And knowing that Naruto has way more Shuseken orbs. Naruto flies up. Toneri looks at Naruto and he's actually taking back the difference of power, but he can't go back now. He immediately attacks Naruto with the reverse Silverwind explosion at Naruto. Naruto just absorbs the attack and tells him, "I have no time for this. No time at all." Naruto speed blitzes Toneri, punches his face, smashes it right through the barrier, and hits the surface of the moon. As Toneri looks up, Naruto already speed blitzes him, knees Toneri right in the chest, cracking Toneri's ribs. Naruto grabs Toneri's face, throws him up onto the moon, onto back where his castle is. Toneri hits his castle, and he barely can breathe. Naruto already appears, kicking Toneri right in the face, slamming him on the other side of the moon. And Toneri's like, what the? Naruto like, boom, slams onto Toneri's gut. Naruto grabs Toneri and begins to rip his soul out. Naruto goes, "Do you want to die? Do you want this to be the last of the legacies of the Otsutsukis on the moon? Do you?" Toneri's like, "Your race, your people, you took my clan's job. The Ghetto statue," everything goes, "Yeah, that's a thing of the past. The Ghetto statue now locked down fine. But you are an Otsutsuki. You have the power to change things. Why are you going like an old hate? You could have done more. And if you really cared about the world, you should have came down and helped us when we needed you." Toneri's like, "No." And Naruto goes, "You know what? I was going to let you live. I really was. But I think I have another purpose for you now." Toneri looks at Naruto. Naruto looks right at Toneri, and he instantly punches Toneri's face, which makes him jump out of the Tenseigon mode. He loses the Tenseigon eyes. Then Naruto looks at him with the Rinnegan, his Tomoe Rinnegan, and he places a massive Genjutsu on Toneri, forcefully putting him in the position where Toneri is and will be subjugated to what Naruto states. Naruto lets go of Toneri, and this is when Hinata destroys the Tenseigon with the Chakra Gentle Fist. And then destroying the Tenseigon, what ends up happening is the moon halts in its place. And as the moon halts in its place, this is when the Raikage uses his chakra diffusion or transportation cannon to destroy all the asteroids at one massive hit. And this is when Naruto gets in contact with Itachi using his psychic link, and he tells Itachi that we stopped the moon. Okay, we found Hinabi, and we're eventually going to head back. Okay, just give me some time. Itachi smiles and says, "Alright Naruto, I'll tell the other Kages." Itachi gets hold of all the other Kages, and they appreciate that the moon has stopped, and the Raikage's weapon worked really well. And so what happens is Naruto tells Sasuke that all is complete, just bear with me, okay? They're fine. And so what happens, Naruto sends Shikamaru back, but Naruto and Hinata stays on the moon for about a month or so to do what they need to do. Now what Naruto does though is, he takes Toneri downstairs, down to where all the dead Otsutsukis are. Naruto summons the King of Hell, and he connects Toneri's chakra to the King of Hell's chakra. The King of Hell pulls all the dead bodies out of their graves and begins to revive each and every one of them. Toneri begins to get weaker and weaker and weaker, but Naruto goes, since you didn't want to help, I'll help your village and maybe I could find someone else to help. But this is when Hamura appears and tells Naruto, you're doing fine with reviving my clan, but don't kill Toneri. He has failed, yes, and he has a lot to learn, but he is, like Hinata, my last Otsutsuki descendant. And Naruto goes, oh, alright Hamura. And then Hagoromo smiles and goes, my brother has always been soft. And Naruto smiles because he understands. So what ends up happening is, when Naruto, after of course, Naruto does that, he releases Toneri from the genjutsu. Toneri heard what Hamura had to say, and he is so upset. Naruto goes, now you have a choice. You either live here and do the job that Hamura has placed upon you, or I kill you now. What is your choice? Toneri jumps on his knees and goes, I'll do my best to fulfill what Hamura wants and his wishes. And Naruto goes, good. Because if I have to come back here and you're not doing what it says, you're dead immediately. Naruto grabs Hinata, and Naruto goes, as if you're gonna try to take the woman I love away from me. And Hinata's face goes mega red. Naruto picks her up and goes, we're gone. What ends up happening is Naruto and Hinata fly through the moon entrance, but this time Naruto keeps the moon and earth entrance open so people can go backwards and forth from the moon to earth, you know. Toneri has to regulate it, of course, and so does the people that's on earth have to regulate it as well, but still, the portal between earth and the moon is open as Naruto and Hinata fly back to earth. This is where they have their moment, and this is when Naruto declares that he wants to marry Hinata. Hinata smiles that Naruto wants to marry him, and Naruto states that I want to have a future, a family with you. And so when they come back to Earth, this is when they have this stupid cheesy kiss. And this is when the Naruto last story, epic story ends. Now, fast forward a few years, up until the point when Naruto is now made the 7th Hokage, okay? Because Itachi allows Naruto to become the 7th Hokage. What ends up happening is Himawari and Boruto are still born. However, Boruto and Himawari are way stronger. Boruto in particular is way more powerful. Okay, bear in mind Naruto has the Rinnegan, so he has some of Sasuke's and Madara's chakra with him. So Boruto unintentionally has the Sharingan, but it's not like a normal Sharingan. Okay, it's more like how Injira's Sharingan was, how he could activate it and deactivate it, and when he had the Mangekyo, he didn't go blind. Same here now. It's Boruto, if whenever he does and will get the Mangekyo, he will never go blind. Now bear in mind Sarada is also born. And she's also the same, if not way more powerful. Way more powerful. Now, I'm just going to state that because Orochimaru didn't get revived, that he stayed pretty much dead, I'm going to put another character's child in there. And that child I'm going to put is Itachi. Itachi has a child with I'm just going to state because I always thought that Kaden and Itachi would make a good couple. There was a child named Shisui. And he's a part of their team. So three of them are all on the same team, Boruto, Sarada and Shisui. And what's cool about them is all of them have the Sharingan, okay? And Boruto activates the Sharingan just like Sarada, just like Shisui, out of love, okay? So bear that in mind. And not only that, Boruto has the same amount of chakra as Kid Naruto did, so he's not so laxed or lazy. At the same time too, Naruto is a better dad than he is in canon. He spends nearly all his time with the son. He has the son come backwards and forth with him. He even gets Boruto to train with Shikamaru, and it comes to learning. So Boruto has more of an analytical mind, like Shikadai. He's carefree of course, but he has the same analytical mind, and he's not so useless when it comes to whining like a little brat. Instead, thanks to having Shisui there, because Shisui is actually the smart one out of the group. Sarada the smart, but not as smart as Shisui, because Itachi's just that much more knowledgeable than Sasuke. What ends up happening is they go through the academy. Boruto and Sarada and Shisui, they easily are the most powerful team out of all of them, Team 7, you know, just like their parents before. And so as they go through their existence, really, their tuning, all their D-rank missions, all their stuff, are nothing to them. These guys are really powerful. They pretty much use these more for training. Shisui has the most talent when it comes to Shuriken Jutsu. Sarada is pretty good at Genjutsu, to be honest. Shuriken is pretty good at do Genjutsu, and Boruto, out of all of them, though, he has the most chakra and he is the most unpredictable. So he has the most jutsu out of all of them and knows how to do things really relatively easy. And jutsus come relatively easy to Boruto thanks to his chakra connection to his dad. And not only that, Boruto, Sarada, and Shisui have their telepathic ability to talk to each other, thanks to Naruto and Sasuke teaching them. And so, as a team, overall they are better than Team 7 and Canon. To be honest, Sakura was good at Genjutsu, but because Sarada has all of Sakura's abilities and Sasuke's abilities with the Sharingan, she's way more better at Genjutsu. Boruto having the Sharingan and all his abilities as well, because he has Swift Release as well, he's actually a carbon copy of his dad, but with the Sharingan. And Shisui, because his dad is so uniquely passive but very powerful, and having Uzumaki Chakra as well, he's really powerful, okay? He's able to use Shisui's actual abilities, the teleportation move where he can make hard copies of himself. But anyway, I digress. As their storyline progresses, their team is so much more powerful than they should be, that when it comes to the tuning exam, they speed blitz everyone. Everyone. Team 7 is like Team 7 of the past. To be honest, all the Kages, they watch it, they find it funny because all they see is Naruto, Sasuke and Sakura. And all three of them, even Shisui. But what happens is Shisui is the team leader though. No matter what, despite them being who they are, and Naruto's dad is the Hokage, Shisui's dad was Hokage, and Sasuke's and Sarada's dad is the Shadow Hokage. He's the Hokage from behind the scenes. So this works well for all of them. They are so much more different. They're not so... Well, they're not exactly like they are in canon, to be honest. They're really, really something else, this team. Way more humble than their parents. And so what happens is Boruto does not get the pure eye from Toneri, not at all. Okay? No one does. And so what happens is, as the storyline progresses, this is when it comes to the final battle between the Hidden Sand Shinobi, Shiken, versus Sarada, Boruto, and Shisui. Now, all three of them immediately know how they need to handle the situation. Shiken tries to do his attack because he's a long range and close range fighter, and he can handle multiple fighters. And as he goes to try to fight them, because Boruto has Swift Release, he's just so fast he can instantly be around everywhere. And Shisui is just really powerful himself. He does solid teleportation jutsus where his after image are solid, and so when he fights him, he actually makes it a strong enough distraction for Sarada to place him under a Genjutsu. Boruto appears right behind him at max speed and uses extreme discharge jutsu, the one that Naruto taught him. He hits Shinken in the back, and he instantly gets stunned by the attack. He falls down, but this is when Sarada jumps up and it gives him one massive uppercut. And this is when Shisui jumps in the air and kicks him right in the face, knocking him down. Now all that's left, so Shinken's immediately out, and all that's left to the fight in the tuning exams is Sarada, Boruto, and Shinken. They have to challenge each other, and so when the team is ready to fight each other, this is when Naruto and Sasuke sense something coming. He senses it indeed. So Naruto jumps in the arena and tells him something's coming. You guys gotta stop. And right away, the moment that happens, Momoshiki appears and goes to try to kick Naruto. Sasuke has already appeared right in front of him, kicking Momoshiki right in the face. Sends him flying. Kinshiki appears to try to come, but Naruto, without even hesitating, puts his hands up and holds Kinshiki in the air, slams him into the ground and throws him into the building with his telekinetic abilities. And this is when Urashiki comes and tries to chuck his fish hook through Naruto's body. Naruto turns around and catches the fish hook, activating his Renegon. He pulls Urashiki towards him. Urashiki tries to resist him, but Naruto grabs Urashiki, and without hesitating, Naruto rips out Urashiki's soul. And Urashiki completely collapses on the ground. When Momoshiki and Kinshiki sees this, Naruto absorbs it and tries to find out who they are, and learns everything that Urashiki watched everything. And then Momoshiki and Kinshiki are here to destroy the world. And the moment Naruto does that, he actually gets really powerful from absorbing Urashiki's abilities. Naruto mentally connects with Sasuke and tells him everything. Sasuke looks right at Naruto and Naruto goes, yeah. Sasuke goes, huh. Alright then, he activates his other Renegon in his eye. And he goes, well, now you guys come to our home and want to put us all in danger, our family is in danger. Sasuke goes, I'm not going to have that. Sarada, Boruto, Shisui, go. They immediately disappear. All the five Kage jump around the stadium. They do the 4 Crimson Ray formation. And what happens is a red barrier appears around the whole entire stadium. Naruto goes, very smart. You two are Momoshiki and Kinshiki Otsutsuki. What makes you guys think you are going to be able to take us on our home turf? Momoshiki gets so angry and goes, he looks at Naruto because he doesn't know that Naruto has all the tail beasts within him. He knows that Naruto is one of them. When Naruto turns into his, thanks to absorbing Toneri, what's his name? Udashiki's chakra, Naruto activates his 6-part stage mode. But what happens is his now chakra cloak is white, and he grows horns on his head, looking more like Hagoromo. Naruto Rinnegan activates when Momoshiki sees this, and then Sasuke activates his chakra. Not his own chakra, maybe he activates his chakra, and it pretty much like a Susanoo suit appears over Sasuke's body with both his Rinnegan. Bear in mind he has a Gedo statue that powers him. And then Sasuke has his 2 Rinnegan activated. Momoshiki and Kinshiki are actually taken back. And what happens is Momoshiki goes, they try to take them on, but Naruto and Sasuke immediately dismantle them. Sasuke immediately takes out Kinshiki to the point where he slams Kinshiki through the barrier, beating him up. Kinshiki tries to use his chakra attacks on Sasuke, but Sasuke is just way too fast, way too ruthless that he uses his astral projectile sword, saves it right through Kinshiki's body, and as Momoshiki tries to absorb him, because Naruto is just pressing too hard, Sasuke instantly does almighty pushing Momoshiki away, and Naruto grabs Kinshiki's head and does the same as Naruto. He rips out Kinshiki's spirit, soul out of his body, all that's left of his body. Kinshiki's body goes limp, and Sasuke absorbs it, and he realizes, and he becomes massively strong himself. The Susanoo chakra that's around his body instantly turns white, even more powerful than it does, and his other Rinnegan now has Tomos on it, like both his Rinnegan. Momoshiki's like, no! And Naruto and Sasuke goes, it's just you left. Momoshiki tries to get away, and tries to go through a time space jutsu, but Naruto holds him in place, pulls him down, slams him onto the ground, and he goes, you come to kill our people, kill our world, kill our families. No wonder Kaguya Otsutsuki hated Jews. No wonder she fell in love with a human. She fell in love with this world. Hagoromo listens to Naruto and them, and it goes, our predecessors before us made sure that our world was safe for us to live. And you want to come here? No. And Naruto goes, I know all about your abilities with the karma, and we're not going to kill you in the way where you can place that karma on us. No. Sasuke? Sasuke stands right behind Momoshiki. Momoshiki is like really injured. Naruto throws 5 chakra juice all through Momoshiki's body, and then pulls him close. Sorry. And as Naruto holds Momoshiki, Sasuke and Naruto look at each other. No, so at first Sasuke goes, we're just going to kill him, and Naruto goes, no, he'll place the karma on us. And then Sasuke goes, so what are we going to do? No, Naruto goes, we both got Rinnegan, right? They put their hands together. I'm going to recreate the Nine-Tailed Beast. And Kurama will like, what? And he goes, I'm going to use about 10% of all the Tail Beast chakra I have within me, even Kurama. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to separate Momoshiki's chakra throughout all of them. I'll probably remake a new Gedo statue, but that's why you're here, Sasuke. Sasuke smiles, alright. Sasuke puts his hands together as well. And as they both stand, Naruto goes, ready? 3, 2, 1. They both activate their most powerful Rinnegan ability, the Izanagi. And what happens is Momoshiki begins to scream, his body starts to tear apart, and Naruto places his hands on the ground, summoning all the Nine-Tailed Beasts within him, only 10% of the chakra, and Momoshiki completes the other half of all the chakras, you know? And so there's about 50%, or let's just say 50% of all the Tail Beasts that now, they're all out of their power, and they're all out in the real world. They still have a connection to Naruto. Naruto goes, the Sage of 6 Paths stated that I needed to keep you guys within me. However, the world has changed. The climate of the world has changed. They no longer look at each other at warring states, and it'll be really cool to let at least some parts of you guys roam the world, right? And they look at Naruto thinking about them. The Sage of 6 Paths smiles. Naruto goes, and in this way too, at least you guys can at least be somewhat free, being subjugated for these years by humans. I don't like that at all. 90% of you guys' chakra still stays with me, but the other half of you guys that are out in this world will be free at least. Naruto places his hands on the ground and completes the chakra transfer of all the Tail Beast, and a small, really imp-like ghetto statue appears out of Momoshiki's body. But what happens in Naruto merges Kinshiki and Urushiki's body with it to at least complete it. And Naruto places the ghetto statue within Sasuke's body. Merging with the ghetto statue that Sasuke has transformed the ghetto statue within him into like one gigantic blue-purple Susanoo within his body. A really powerful one. And as Naruto and Sasuke does that, Momoshiki, Kinshiki and Urushiki died nearly in a blink of an eye in this battle, to be honest, when it comes to these two. The Crimson Ray formation has been pulled down. Naruto and Sasuke pretty much ended Momoshiki's invasion right then and there. And so what ends up happening, Sasuke goes, are we going to let these three kids fight each other? And Naruto goes, no. We'll just promote them the tunings because we're putting us, they're all pretty much equals, and to get all of them to fight each other and make the one supersede the other, that's just ridiculous. All the other Kage agree too, you know. And so what happens, Sarada, Boruto and Shisui become tuning, and they're ready themselves for the future. Naruto and Sasuke are just so much different now. Naruto can't remove the horns on his head, to be honest. He's absolutely godlike now. His Rinnegan can't deactivate no more. And not only that, now he's stuck in permanent 6+ Sage mode. So Naruto's, he doesn't have the chakra cloak, but his power is just off the charts. Hinata understands what Naruto had to do, and so does Sasuke. His Rinnegan's deactivate now. So he's so different. They're both just so stupidly powerful. And as the storyline progresses to the Kara arc, this is where I'm going to leave this, guys. I hope you guys like this one. Please like and subscribe. Leave your comments down below. Leave the bell notification on so you guys can be the first to get my new content. And of course follow me on Discord, which I stated earlier in the beginning of the video. And yeah, sorry for this quick recap of this video. I know you guys looked forward for me to continue with this, but having Naruto and Sasuke be so powerful, yeah, the storyline should have ended a long time ago, okay? But I want to drag this out for you guys so you guys will understand and like this at least anyway. But yeah, I appreciate you guys all watching my videos and hope you guys stay tuned for the final part that I'll be doing next, okay guys? And so yeah, without further ado guys, this is Dr. Kahu saying peace.